Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Gallant Few's Daily News for Monday, the 26th of August 2024. My name's Colin, and I hope you're all well. I hope listeners, if you have the bank holiday off, you are enjoying it. If you're not, well, I hope today this morning's pod makes your day a little bit easier. I'm joined to kick off Old Firm Prep Week by stellar cast. 2 pods and 12 hours for these boys. First of all, it's David. How you doing?
Not bad, my man. Not bad. Good to be back. It's been a while.
No, that's commitment. Commitment to the cause.
That's it. Either that or I've just got nothing else happening, but I'd like to call it commitment.
Call it commitment. And
Yes.
joining us as well, it's Jack. How you doing this morning, mate?
Aye, good troops. Thanks very much. I've done it here. I've got the stamina to do 2 things in 12 hours now, so I'll take that.
Start with you, Jack. Old Firm Prep Week, or Build-Up Week, whatever you want to call it. I think in recent years it's not been as crazy, the hype and the build-up to the media, but I do start getting the nerves the day after the previous game's done. So I started thinking about it yesterday, and my nerves will go up and down throughout the week. What about yourself?
No, I don't really. I think I know we're not in the best place now, but I think we're past the days of, a few years ago going into these games where you weren't hoping not to just get beat, you were hoping not to get a pumping. So I think we're not, and quite a weird one this week, because this must be the first Old Firm game in the season a while where we've not had a European game on a Wednesday or Thursday before it. So we're going to have a full week to prepare and a full week to hear about it. But no, I'm absolutely fine with it. That's no me saying I think we're favourites or anything mad like that, but I'm just not getting the concerns that some others have got about it.
No, when I say nerves, I'm no particularly concerned. I'm not any more concerned, any less concerned than previous Old Firms, but I don't like the build up to these games in general. I've never watched an Old Firm and enjoyed it. I am an absolute wreck, whether that's when we were, in the Championship playing that semi-final, or when it was during 55 and we were absolutely scudding everybody. Davey, what about yourself? Are you calm, collected, composed like Jack, or are you like
I would say calm, but as the week goes on, I'll probably cover every single possible scenario in my head. The more I'll have us running amok. Wednesday I'll have us getting pumped. Thursday I'll have a damp squib draw. Friday I'll be, in about the build-up probably. It's one of these things. It's like you do start off kind of calm. You're like, it's not the same, or it's just another game. It's early in the season, whatever. But when the closer you get to kick off, the more the intensity builds. But no, in terms of the mindset getting into it, I'm not fearful, but I'm not overly confident either. I think it's best just to kind of, I think it's best maybe just to sit on any predictions for a while and just see how the week goes, see how the squad's shaping up, see who we sign, obviously, and by Saturday I'll be well up for it, and on Sunday I'll be a nervous wreck.
Aye, it's going to be a long week. I don't think any signings will make the game for either side this Sunday. I don't think they'll put in. I think squads that we have now will be who we set up with the exclusion of any outgoings. And David, I know you would have touched on this in the pod last night, but we kick off the news for the weekend. Ben Davies has joined Birmingham City on loan until the end of the season. So, biggest thing I'm taking is there's now wages freed up, and we will potentially see someone coming in this week.
Yeah, I think it's a given. Although Davies wasn't really. He wasn't exactly much used to us, if we're, being totally honest, but he still needs replaced. Whether it's a player with the same role as him, as in third, fourth choice, or whether it's a proper, first choice slotted in centre back, I don't know. but I would be very, very surprised if we don't bring in a centre-half as a priority. I think Davies himself leaving, I think it's good for him and it's good for us. Wish him, all the best in that, but he didn't seem up for it here. And I think it's a wise move, both for his career and for our sanity.
Jack, I've no fears with him going down to Birmingham and playing quite well. I think there's obviously talent there with Ben Davies. He's not suited to his shortest game. We have players ahead of him in the pecking order. He's built a career and been a solid championship player. So when you're going down to Birmingham, I think you'll do well, and I can see this being a loan into a buy quite comfortably.
He's suited to the championship level, but championship it's not really going to threaten to enter the Premiership, because that's what Preston were. Birmingham are probably a level below that because they get relegated, so he'll probably be fine there. The problem is with Davies, he wasn't up to playing for us, but the outlay on him was the same as it was for Goldson and Hollander. But the big difference was when we signed Goldson and Hollander, I don't think the market had went as silly as it did around about 2 years ago. So he was never the level of that, but the outlay was the same. And you knew right away, you never looked like he was going to be first choice, never mind a replacement for any of the two. So he's now down to probably fourth choice at best. He's been at Rangers. I mean, there was times where Lundstrom or Sands would play in front of him, and they weren't even natural centre half, so it's just never really worked. I've nothing against him. We gave him that contract. I can't blame him now for signing it and coming up and getting the money. This is a big Rangers mistake. Hopefully a good loan move. He plays well, and then he's no real problem in a year's time. But best luck to him, because, as I said, it's us that gave him a deal, and I can't expect him not to sign it.
On the contract conversations, then that leads us nicely into the next point, and Jack will stick with you for this one. It was in the Daily Record this morning that John Souttar's got to be set to be offered a new deal, a contract extension. So he's got 2 years left in his current contract. He's 27-year-old, and I can see both sides of this. I can see we've had a lot of players leave. So Lundstrom Barisic, for example, in the summer, we didn't get anything back for them. But at the same time, I don't know if we're certain John Souttar is going to be a long-term player if we're going to look to bring in another centre-half. I would have been parking these conversations to January at least. I think it's a bit premature.
I think with Souttar, he's never really nailed it doing his first choice, but seeing he's fit, he's probably played more than he's no. I think he started the season poorly, but after the Kiev game, he had an absolute nightmare away. He's actually been all right since, and he was quite solid the last couple of games. See, I get why people think, oh, you keep him on, it shows a lack of ambition. But see if he gets into next year and his last year's deal, we've seen, no even the players leaving for nothing, that's not a big concern, because that can happen at a certain age. But see the amount of players we have, first team important players we have got going into our last season, it's not they're down in tools, but you can't expect them to put 100% in when they've got their next move on their mind. So we need to be a lot more careful with going into seasons with guys with a year left in their deal and what you're going to go to them, because it gets to a point like, well, if I'm not signing a new deal here, I can't be breaking my leg and going for it too much. So Rangers need to be much better at that. And I don't think there's a massive selling value, but him, if he's going to be going into the last year's deal, there's too many recently first team important players who have been in the last year of their deal, and no even like because of selling value, as I say, but because they know their mind's on their next move when that happens, and we need to stop doing that.
Davey, do you have any real thoughts on that? I think Jad makes a couple of good points. I just think if we're going to be extending contracts, it should be because we're expecting players to go for decent money, or they're going to be long-term players. Beyond that, I don't know if Souttar's shown me that he'll be either of them. I mean, he could be, but I've not seen the evidence yet.
I think, this is just a prediction, but I'm thinking that after the transfer window, he's going to be probably third choice, unless we switch to a back three all of a sudden. I would say he's going to be third choice. So if his contract reflects that kind of squad status, then I don't see an issue with it. Also, we get criticism for letting players run contracts down. We'll probably hear criticism for extending a contract early. So so we probably can't win as a club. But as fans, I think we should be positive about it. Given the fact that I don't think he's going to be, he's not going to be expected to be first pick and be the man to save games for us and stuff. But if the contract reflects that squad status of not first choice, then I don't have an issue with it. I don't have any issue at all with it.
I suppose that's my worry. If we give him a contract and wages, where it indicates he's a first choice player, and as next season goes on, we get better players, and season after we get better, and he goes further and further down the pecking list, we're going to end up in a situation where we were. Connor Wilson, for example, the highest earner, like one of the highest earners, and they're not playing regular football. And look at where that's got us this year. You know what I mean? That's probably my worry too.
Aye, I think we would need to see not the finer print details, but an idea of the weekly wage, and we can kind of take it from there. You're right, if he gets offered money that Ben Davies was on, then it's a worry, you know what I mean? Because he's not deserving of it. He's a reliable player most of the time, but he's never going to be first choice. He's not going on to be a future captain. He's 27, and securing that contract means that if he is deemed surplus, then we'll get something for him. I don't know if it's a business decision or a football decision or both, but in terms of being just purely a football decision, as long as the weekly wage is a sensible one and reflects that status of not first choice, then I definitely don't have a problem with it. I would actually be quite positive about it, that we're being proactive in terms of securing players while they've still got some time left. I think it's just less than 2 years he's got, maybe a season and a half or something come January. To me, it makes sense. But as I say, I may very much be in the minority with that. But no, I'm fine with it.
Jack, as much as we're talking about him, should he be here long term or no, or should they get the contract? Ironically, he's most likely got to start on Saturday because Maligan went off with a concussion. Hopefully, it'll not be too long. Propers are out, but it looks like John Souttar will be starting if the other two have question marks on them.
You'll probably find if you're the third choice long-term Rangers defender, you'll play more than you know with the amount of games we play and the injuries we get. And as David said, if we ever go to a back three, because see, we did go to a back three, Souttar is actually solid enough and he's good in the ball, so that wouldn't be a mad concern. It's more I think Souttar's a wee bit guilty of daydreaming with the ball at the tap and sometimes out wide with a kind of half-side line. But if he didn't have that, then he probably wouldn't be playing at Rangers. If he didn't have... That is the thing. There's a reason why every player is in the Scottish League and the good ones go. And that'll be it. I know there'll be ones that will be getting annoyed with this, but you know what? We could really do with important first team players, whether people like it or no. He has an important first team players no going into the last year of their deal. I don't like that. I get when they're a certain age you can't give them big contracts like Borner or Lundstrom at a point where you couldn't extend it. You just need to accept that sometimes. But Souttar's at an age where he's an important first team player, whether people like it or no, and you can't have him going into last year's deal when he's going to be playing more games than he's no.
So interesting. It'll be interesting to see the listeners' comments on this one. Contract negotiations. It's a proper sticking point in the Rangers support and really divides it. So it'll be interesting to see what we all think. David, I'll come to you for the next story then. So it's more of a saga than a story that's been on with this boy, Ianis Hagi. He's now been linked over the weekend with Rapid Bucharest and Universitatea Craiova in Romania. So apparently both are interested in Ianis Hagi. Rapid Bucharest have just got a wee bit of money with Albion Romani moving on for decent cash. But apparently Ianis Hagi would have to agree to a wage cut to go there. I'll be honest, Hagi does strike me as the type of person that will move for footballing reasons. I don't know why, but over the weekend, the more I think about it, the more I have a feeling that Hagi won't go. I don't see him want to play football in Romania, personally. If this is the only offers got for him, I see him, I've just quoted this, and I can't really back it up, but if it's just a gut feel that I think he's going to be a Rangers player a week today.
I get you. The only thing that I would dispute is that the manager, I don't think the manager will relent on his reluctance to play him. So I think Hagi knows that if he stays, he's not going to play. As you say, he's the type of player that wants to play. I don't think he's, some sort of mercenary that's going to sit and collect a wage. But going back to Romania is a big one. That's the main kind of bugbear. He'll get less wages, obviously, even if Rapid or Craiova make him their highest paid ever player. It's still probably going to be less than what he's on with us. For footballing reasons, we might sell him and have to supplement his wages. I don't know. But going back to Romania is not something. I think you're right, actually. It's not something I can see him doing. He's a national hero in Romania. His bloody wedding was televised like a royal wedding in Romania. You know what I mean? It's he would want for nothing. But at the same time, in terms of his career, he's been in a few different countries, and probably at his age, you would see Romania as a step back. However, if he has a discussion with his national team manager, I think the national team's very important to him. If he has a discussion with him and he says, you'll still be picked as long as you're playing, then we never know. But I do think you're right. I think there's something, and again, you're right. It's not something that I can pinpoint, but I do have a feeling that come the close of the transfer window, he will still be here, unless a team from another country come in for him. But getting back to Romania is just, for a young guy to go back to his own country it's not very often, unless they're a total flop. He's not a flop. He's got, he's highly thought of in a lot of places. So that remains to be seen. If he is still here come the close of the transfer window, I wouldn't be surprised. Put it that way.
The international football is a funny one because he does value that highly, but he wasn't getting a game for Alaves last year, and he still made the Euro squad and got a lot of game time. So that's I'm not saying that he can go and do anything, still get a game, but I think he'll fancy his chances getting in wherever he's playing it. I think. Jack, what's your thoughts on this? Can you see Hagi moving to Romania?
It just needs sorted right away where he's going to move or stay. It's dragged on so long. It seems to be in a kind of naughty step without being naughty. It seems to be like, I know we hear about this wage rise and that, but was it somebody worked out it would cost 300 grand each season, 600 grand it would be for the last 2 years deal to give him this wage? That's what we probably pay for a guy. It would sit on the bench and no play now. So I don't think we have handled this well at all. See the appearance things. He could have played in 2 of the friendlies, like the Union Berlin one or whatever, and got a move. Surely it would suit us as well to have him playing to get him a move, or do you sit down and say, look, we can't give you that wage rise, but see if you're really good until January, we'll no send in your way the first offer it comes in. I don't think we've covered ourselves in glory on this one, whether it's a wage rise thing or whatever, but for his sake, he's got to be playing football because he's a good player, and I know people say like the Alaves thing didn't work out and whatever, but he ended up getting an injury out there just to get back to the team, but that's a good league he was playing in, and he did play enough games last season to get himself fit in that again, but it just needs sorted out. And if he's here in a week's time, and we're better off just giving him that man money and playing him, because what's the point giving him 20 grand a week to do nothing?
Aye, and if he is here in a week's time, his value's only got to decrease if he's sitting playing with the B team. We've said this time again with Hagi and Campbell, we can't say to the world we want rid of these players and then demand high fees for road rope. It doesn't work like that. I don't know, Davey, like it does feel like with Hagi instead of Campbell, they're 2 very different things, but Hagi does feel like this wage thing is dictating the decisions, and I don't really like it when the finances dictate over the footballing decisions.
Yeah, it's a very Rangers problem, isn't it? It is just very us.
We know had this problem years ago with Michael Ball.
We did.
Colin,
Yeah, that's right.
Thomas Buffel was the other one.
Buffel, that's right.
So we said we were playing Olivia Bernard at fucking left back or Hammond and Mucci in the left wing.
That's right. I know, ridiculous, and it's. I mean, it's clearly not the first time it's happened. Why we give contracts like that, I don't know, but I think the phrase for me is, speculate to accumulate. Play them, give them the wage rise. It can't be a massive wage rise. You know what I mean? Well, maybe we are mental, but we're not that mental that, he's going to be on some sort of superstar wage. Play him, let people see what he can do. And, if it costs us a bit extra, fair enough, because we'll eventually, claw it back, both in terms of the fee and the wages freed up. I don't know how much the wage increase is, but as I say, I don't believe it's like massive. I don't think it's like, 50% or whatever. I think it's a incremental increase, I would say, and we're just not willing to do it. However, though, the manager also just doesn't seem to fancy him. I thought he would get a run in pre-season and the manager could say, well, fair enough, I like him, I don't like him, whatever. But that hasn't happened. So while I don't think it's solely down to finances, I do think it's strange that the manager's just no gave him a second thought.
Aye, that is weird. I would have thought that he would have wanted to at least see him in training and like you do with like the B team players. Let's see, get them in the camp, see what they can offer. But there wasn't any of that. But to be fair, Colin might be of the opinion, well, if he scheduled his wedding for when the pre-season was starting, then he's got bigger priorities. But
that's possibly a good point.
Aye. Last story of the day, then, Jack, will come to yourself. The Rangers women absolutely shredded Montrose. So this is 9-0 midweek. I think it was 6-0 last week, 9-0 yesterday. Goal scorers yesterday for Rangers were Rio Hardy, Katie Wilkinson got a hat-trick, Kirsty Howard, Mia McCauley, Laura Rafferty, Brogan Hay and Tess Medak. So we've started the season really, really strong there. It's, I think, we're top of the league with like 20 goals goal difference. Do need to caveat that Glasgow Celtic Glasgow Thistle and Glasgow City and Celtic have played each other, so they have both. Like Celtic have had a tougher game under their belt, but you can only beat what's in front of you, and so far so good for Rangers women.
Aye, definitely. Can't argue with that start. I know they've not played one of the two better teams, but as you said, you can only beat what's in front of you. You can only do what you can do. Again, the score looks brilliant, but I think I did say you touched on it last week. There is something about the level in the one league with how teams are so good and the other teams aren't. But I'm not going to complain about that one because Montrose put my wee lassie's team out last year with a dubious penalty, so I've got no sympathy for me after my wife drove up there for 2 hours for a game. Well,
you know, revenge is a dish best served cold, so get it up you, Montrose. David, myself and Jack spoke last week just about getting a bit of momentum ahead of the Arsenal game. So they've got Dundee United at home next week, and then they are going down to play Arsenal on Wednesday, September the 4th. So it's nothing they'll do will, unless they're playing Celtic or Glasgow City, it won't come close to the challenge at Arsenal. Will be a big step up, but I suppose this is the best way to prep, just getting the confidence up.
Very true. Arsenal's going to be a totally different kettle of fish. The women's league down there is very, very strong. The league up here for the women is, it does have, it's probably more of a challenge than the men's league in the fact that, there's 3 or 4 or even more like proper solid teams that can challenge. But going down to play Arsenal, it's a big ask. They can, as you say, it's like these games that they're scoring in while they're a different level. It still builds confidence. It's still scoring goals. But you never know. I think I wouldn't be making any large bets on a Rangers women win. But at the same time, you never know.
Never say never. Stranger things have happened. But we've got a game, as I said, on Sunday at Dundee against Dundee United to look forward to. So let's just hope they keep the momentum up going into that Champions League qualifier. Well, gents, that will bring us to a close for today. Just a shout out to the listeners what's been happening on the pod. So last night, David and Jack, along with James and Bill, were on the live stream going into the Ross County game, going through all the 6 goals in much more detail, so you can get that wherever you get your podcasts. On the Patreon and YouTube site, we'll have the player ratings up for that this afternoon, and over the next couple of days, the 2 Davies will be back, of course, for Patreon members, and the Premier League boys will be recording too. So as well as that, we'll be back with the news every day this week at 9 a.m. So give us a like, subscribe, follow, wherever you do get your podcast. Even though retweeting that, any sort of interaction, comments really does help us with the algorithm. So if you can do your bit there. All that's left to do, thank you very much to my 2 guests this morning. First of all, David.
Yep, thank you very much as always. Always a good start to the morning to discuss all things Rangers. Again, no a lot of negativity. That's 2 days in a row, so long may it continue.
Amen to that. And last but not least, Jack, thank you for coming on, mate.
Thanks very much for having us. Great to start the day now. It looks like a bit of a stinker, but that was a good start. At least Rangers were positive. Never mind the weather.
Never know. Rangers might do things in this.
Oh, of course. And we've behaved for a week, so.
I know it's been about 9 days without any nonsense. Let's keep it up. So, yeah, on that note, before I jinx them anymore, have a cracking Monday, folks, and I'll speak to you again soon.